And so this works well. And what you do is first you put water, and we figured out, we did a little bit of trial and error because you have to remember, this has been a long time since I've done this as a teacher. So we put a little bit of water in there, and we figured out, and this is what I would do with children. Let's start with a quarter of a tab, and then we can extend it out. So you put it out, and you close it up very quickly, and you stand back.
I sweat myself.
Yeah. So let me tell you about this. What we would do is I would get a collection of these, and I would have children, and you know, once they start to see it and they get excited about it, if you can imagine what that's like. So we would do it very quickly, and a bunch of kids would do it at once. So I would count 1, 2, 3, drop it in, get here, and then actually I have them shake it up a little bit, and then we run back, and it's like boom, 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 and it's awesome. It's incredible.
Can I interject here?
Yeah.
You can also use the M&M bottles, the little mini M&Ms.
The cap's connected.
Or you can cut it.
Here.
And we also talk about safety glasses when we do this, and they have to have their safety apparel, and everybody has to wear their safety glasses.
Yeah, that's awesome. Awesome.
I need you to do it again for slow-mo.
You what?
Slow-mo.
You want to do slow-mo? These I got from Steve Spangler. He sells these in packs.
I got a bunch of those at Treasures for Teachers.
Oh,
yesterday.
awesome.
Yes.
Very, very cool. With caps. I have learned
I was
that...
like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm buying these.
No more or less. She has them all.
I have learned that these tend to work better, and I think that it might be the pressure that gets built up. It holds it in a bit further. Yeah, well, and I think that because it's more snug.
Yeah.
But they don't always seal after time.
These, really?
Yes.
And I didn't have that problem, but I did have problems with these. So, with these ones, yeah. These kind of pop open a little bit and they fizzle out, and these tend to, you know,
They have the
stay a bit
grooves
more
though
snug.
inside the thing, don't
Right.
they?
Yeah. And so, let's have a couple of you try it together. So, here we go.
Yeah. I had to get some baking soda and tissue, and then they got me.
Oh, we do it in... Okay, so let's have three of you come up. Let's put some water.
Put on your safety goggles.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, you do that with, yeah, you put your safety goggles on with kids. I was a teacher that, like I said, let's just do it. Let's just do it and let's figure out how this works. A little more than that. Yeah, about 3/4, that's good. Drop a little back in, yeah. Break that up. We need one more. We need one more.
Move the water cup forward.
Oh, we need one more person to come fill this up.
Don't be shy, somebody.
Volunteer, 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 volunteer. Okay, hold on, we gotta do it all together. We're gonna wait for one more person.
So I put all of it in?
I love how
Yeah.
all of you who aren't like doing the experiment, everyone else is videotaping.
All right, a little bit more.
Hashtag.
Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna stick your Alka-Seltzer tablet in. When I count to 3, you're gonna shake it up. You're gonna pop it on, and you're gonna shake it up a little bit. Do you have caps? Here's your
Oh my
cap.
God.
Wait, 1, and 3. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Pressure.
It's not really one, two,
Awesome.
three. It's
All right. So that's one experience that we have.
most people shaking.
No, it's just water. Water. This, because it's sodium bicarbonate is what Alka-Seltzer is. Basically, when I was a child, my mom used to have me, she would put literally a tablespoon of baking soda in water and have me drink it. And
Yeah.
that's basically what it is.
Yeah, that's-
Alka-Seltzer has a little bit more stuff in it, but you can make your own sodium bicarbonate sort of mixtures and dry them out if you are concerned about using these. I use these with little kids, and there was never an issue. It was never an issue. But some people have some concerns about that. If you haven't seen this yet, did you see these? These are awesome. You can get these, they're vanishing crystals. You can get them from Steve Spangler as well. And one of the things I'm going to show some of you to do, and I want you to make sure, we're going to do after lunchtime, you'll be able to come back in here and we'll spend some more time because the other group didn't get, some didn't actually get to where I'm at. Any of you ever make Plato with children, or silly putty with kids?
Capture that.
Okay.
Sorry.
So let me tell you, borax is often the recipe that most people see online. It's the 1 tablespoon with warm water. You keep them separated, the borax and the glue. I don't like to use that recipe because it's not very consistently successful for me. This is what I use, okay?
Where do you get
It's
that?
liquid starch. It's where your, when you go to the grocery store or any store, it's right by your detergents, okay? So it's for ironing is what you use it for. That's why I don't know what it is. That's even better. Okay. All right. Now, this you do have to order, or you can get oftentimes from your science folks at school. These are iron filings. Now, here's a cool thing that we used to do, because I didn't have any money, we were poor. We used to get this from our actual soil. So I would take the wands, and we would get chunks of dirt from outside, and then they would find the filings in the dirt. And then we would pull it out and make a collection. Okay, so that's how I used to get this, but now you can just order it online. Makes life much easier. I remember I didn't have online when I was teaching. I didn't have all of those resources right at my fingertips. So generally what I do is I just pour some, probably a little too much. The actual recipe is available online, so you can go online and see what this recipe is like. I've been doing this for a really long time, so I just kind of just do it. You know how your grandmother makes rice in my family? It could be something else in your family. We just throw stuff together. I never measure, and when I'm with kids, one of the things that we used to do with Plato is I gave them all of the materials to make Plato, and I would say to them what the properties are. When you add salt, it pulls water. So the more salt you put in it, the faster it will dry out. So that's the information I give them. Then I give them preservatives, which are alum or cream of tartar. And I say, we have to figure out what recipe will last the longest. So they would make their own mixtures, and they had to write down, I used a half a cup of this, I use a half a cup of this. And then they would mix it, and we would see which ones hardened the fastest, which ones last at least 3 months of figuring out how to create recipes that were the best recipe for Play-Doh. It was amazing. So you put your glue in one, then you put your starch in another. Now, I am who I am, so I like to do stuff like this. Here's some fluorescent glow paint, and I'm just going to throw it in here. And we're going to just see what happens, right? Let's just see what happens. And so you take a spoon, and when I do this with kids, they do this part. So I'm like, I don't know, just put a little bit in there. Let's see if that's enough. Let's see if that'll work, okay? Now, if you want to engage in terms of math, you can go get the recipe online. You can even do a rebus chart where it has half a cup of this, 1 cup of this, you have it drawn out, and the children get to follow those steps. And so that, you can definitely do it that way, but that wasn't my goal. My goal was really about language development and trying to talk about properties and estimations. I really wanted them to kind of get a feel for those things. So it all depends on what your intention is. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm just going to add the filings in here.
So the cornstarch?
No, this is liquid starch.
Oh, liquid starch.
Yeah. And I'm actually going to probably need more than that, but I'm going to start with that. And then I just have one of the kids mix it. Now, I will say I usually don't like kids to just watch. That is not, I say to folks, it is not QVC. It is not HSN, okay? Each kid needs to have either their portion, or you work with the small group. So you work with like 5 children who they're all doing something. So they're not watching. And then you do it 4 or 5 times because you're going to work with every kid that wants to do it. So it's not their experience if you're the one doing it. So then what I do is just pour the glue and the color in there, okay? And then we just start mixing. And at this point, we start talking about what's happening with the color. What does it feel like for those who are mixing? What's happening? And do you notice what's happening? Does anyone notice?
No.
Throw some descriptions out. Do you notice that it's getting thicker? Do you notice that I have clear containers? Okay. I love these clear containers, and I love those and the silver trays. I think there's something about invitation when we are very intentional about how we put things together. Look at this. And so here, this says to me, I need more liquid starch. Okay, that's what this says to me. I need more liquid starch. So I'm gonna put it in there. And all I'm gonna do is rub it around a little bit in there. And I'm gonna keep massaging it. And so here we talk about what does it feel like, what is it, and we use those juicy words. I wanna see what children, what language they use. And what happened to the pink? What happened to the pink? And so this takes a little bit of time for you to keep massaging it. And it could take upwards of 5 minutes, and you have to, again, still trial and error, figure out
The consistency.
the consistency and the level of thickness to it, okay? And so you want to just keep moving, and because you all are standing here watching, this is one we made earlier, okay? So what I did, because what I have in here in terms of filings is not enough, okay? What I did was I added a lot more filings to it. And I will tell you, kids, if they put it on their hair and they put it on their clothes, it won't come off easily, but it is water soluble. So when it will wash out of clothes. People get really freaked out about that. It is water soluble. Now, you do need these kinds of magnets. These are, well, I don't know if that's true. We actually have to check with these.
Kind of magnets.
But it takes a lot of energy to get these off here, so it'll take a little while to do that. But these are yeah, that'd be awesome. These are, they're ceramic magnets that she actually ordered for her session. But if you come in a little closer, you'll start to see how it pulls it up. You move the bowls. You see that?
That is cool.
And you lean in a little bit, and look at that. Go that way.
That is
So then
cool.
you can add more if you want.
It's awesome, isn't it?
That's
And then here, if you do it on the side, particularly if you hold it this way for whatever reason, look at how it's pulling it. Isn't that amazing? So think about the language and everything that you can use as you're engaging in this type of experience.
Then if we use our pyramids that we made, we could see how that works. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So this, you want to keep this in a sealed container or a plastic bag, and it'll probably last about a week or two before it starts to get icky. This one with the borax starts to separate within a week, and so that's why I prefer this recipe. You can find this recipe online, as I mentioned. You just go silly putty recipe with liquid starch, and this one actually, so it started to get rubbery. What that says to me is you need more glue, and so it's always trial and error, trial and error. And once you get really good at how to put this together, it becomes, oops, where's my bucket? Easy to make these, You see how I just kind of am with stuff? That's how I was as a classroom teacher, if you can imagine that with kids. But we had a lot of fun. Okay, so let me do the next one.
Did anyone leave their phone in the restroom?
Me. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna do, and you guys go ahead and look around if you like. You don't have to stay standing here. I need like 2 or 3 volunteers for this one. Okay. And let's get paper towels. Oh, I should have asked what we're doing. And what you're going to make a little pack. I need 2 more. Hello, 2 more. 2 more. Hold on, I gotta put my, head wrap on.
Uh-oh.
My hair gets in my way. And I keep doing this, and then I have like glue in my hair.
Oh, okay.
And baking soda in my hair. And so.
I thought we were doing something flammable and my bangs were going to go up and you're going to be in trouble.
So you're gonna make a little pack. You're gonna add some baking soda right in the center